Hi, how's your dog doing? Linus wants to learn Toki Pona. He's really excited. He thinks it's a pretty cool language. So, the day after he learns about it, he goes and tells his friends, "Oh, I'm learning this cool language. It's called Toki Pona." Then they all start to make fun of him, start saying that Toki Pona is a useless language, and he's not going to be able to speak to that many people in it. He's never going to use it throughout his life. No one's going to care about it, and he should just stop. So, Linus caves into what they say, and he stops learning Toki Pona. He doesn't learn it, and he doesn't learn any other languages for that matter because he still feels like someone could judge him for it. Marcus Aurelius, on the other hand, does not cave in when people tell him that the languages he's learning are useless. He knows that he derives all the fulfillment he needs from learning the languages and that it's a fun journey on its own, regardless of how useful they are to other people. As someone who speaks two languages that people would consider to be useless, and two that people would consider to actually be useful, that being English, of course, Spanish, Toki Pona, and Latin. I've had my fair amount of criticism for learning Toki Pona and Latin. Plenty of people have told me that it is completely useless to learn those because there's no one I'm going to speak to. I've had plenty of people who I've talked to say stuff like that, friends, even some people I just found and just was talking to about it, they would say that. Now, I didn't really care too much. I understood that it was my fulfillment that really mattered more than what they thought, but I understand that it could be a problem or a source of insecurity for some other people. And I think it's really sad that some people really think that all languages is just a tool that is only as valuable as it is useful to them, which normally is based on the amount of speakers or the area they live in. But you could easily make the argument that any language is useless. Oh, why would you learn Spanish when there's no Spanish speakers around here? Oh, why would you learn Mandarin when there's no Mandarin speakers around here? You can make the argument for any language that it is useless in some way. What really matters is how you want to use it and how much fulfillment it provides for your life. For example, with Latin, my goal has always been to read works of literature and even some prose in Latin. That was always my goal. I thought it would be really neat to read this up in its original language. For example, the poetry, Latin poetry is based on meter, so you can really experience the beauty that was intended when it was originally written. Instead of just reading, "I sing of arms and a man," you can hear "Arma virumque cano." You know, that was always more pleasing to me. It was always more fun. And there are some texts that haven't even been translated into Latin as well. So you're gaining access to more stuff. Now back to Toki Pona, of course, you gain the advantages of joining an awesome community with very helpful and supportive and amazing people. So, I mean, there are more benefits that I'll talk about later. I wouldn't really call them benefits, but just things that you will enjoy from them, I guess, because it's not just the value it provides value on its own, but there are extra things that it can give you as well. So what I recommend when you start getting that feeling that a language might be useless is, well, to understand why you want to learn it. Why do you want to learn Toki Pona? When you want to learn Georgian, think to yourself, why do you want to learn it? Because if you don't want to learn it, you're not going to learn it. It has been shown that when you have a negative experience when learning a language, or just kind of anything in general, you're less likely to learn it because your experience has been tainted by it being negative. So if your experience with learning a language was with some angry teacher who would get very mad at you whenever you messed up a verb conjugation or something, you're going to be less inclined to want to learn that language. It doesn't mean that you can't, but it'll be a little bit harder than it would be for someone who came in blind or even with a positive view of it. So honestly, for any language you want to learn, just think about why you want to learn it and why that would be helpful to you or why it would be fulfilling to you. For example, another language I want to learn eventually is Ancient Greek, and that's because I want to be able to read Ancient Greek texts. I want to learn Italian because I think it's a very beautiful language. I think it's one of the most, if not possibly the most beautiful language in the world. Actually, maybe I'd put Brazilian Portuguese first. I really love the sound of that, but I would consider Italian to be in my top 5 most beautiful languages ever. And I think it'd be a great way to explore Italian culture, which is something I really want to learn to appreciate because, you know, I think a lot of people understand like some of the basic stuff, but I really want to become more entrenched in it, and I think that Italy is such a beautiful country. I mean, why wouldn't I want to go there and speak to people who live there? That'd be amazing. So seriously, just take like 5 minutes to think about why you even want to learn the language you want to learn. For Toki Pona, some good reasons could be, like I've said earlier, joining an amazing community. It also provides a pretty fun challenge to see how well you understand a concept and how able you are to break it down into simpler terms. It also provides you different perspectives on a lot of different things, like maybe life in general, or certain concepts that you hadn't really thought about how you see them versus how other people see them. And if you're really just going for a utilitarian view, it's a good starting language because it's a lot simpler than other languages, so it gets you a good start to, learning other languages if your goal is to become multilingual or to become a polyglot. I kind of have this vision, and the reason why I think some people should go into this journey of learning all these languages is because I have a vision in my mind. Might be a little silly, but I have a vision just of so many people around the world conversing to each other about topics that they find important to them, that they think can benefit the other person that they're conversing with and can benefit the world. And they're doing this in different languages, which can provide different perspectives on how to look at those things, or they can provide different ways of communicating them. And I think that's a very great thing that we could eventually build in the world. I think that would be great to have a community of people just discussing ideas in the languages that they think they should be discussed in based on a variety of things. Maybe it applies to the people who speak that language. Maybe it can be more easily expressed. It can be better communicated. And that's my goal. That's what I want. That's my ulterior motive. Not really, but that's something that's my vision. And with that, I hope you continue to learn Toki Pona or whatever language you want to continue learning. And that's all for this video. Maybe I'll make another edited video since based on the posts I made, people want some more. I might make those like every 1 to 2 weeks. So that was a pretty short session for me to record, and I don't know what else to say. So, all right, tell your dog I said hi.